Hello everybody, sorry first off about the lack of videos on my channel. I've been a bit busy with other things and generally I don't really like posting videos on there about random stuff much anyway. But today I had an interesting time and I thought I'd share some things that I bought at flea markets. Today is Sunday, so there's a few flea markets around where I live. And yeah, all of this was bought at one flea market over the course of maybe 3 hours. To start with, let's see, I got these, which are old flash bulbs. They're one use. They've got 4 little bulbs and a little plastic reflector. So you'd pop these in the top of your camera with these plugs, and they would activate them electronically. And they'd flash and then turn as the camera cycled. You'd have to throw them out and get a new one. So there's a lot of these left from the 1960s and 70s and whatnot. And they're fun. I don't normally use them, but every once in a while I do, just to see what they're like again. And they've got zirconium or magnesium foil in them. Another interesting purchase was these candlesticks, which are basically junk pewter. I mean, this one's kind of bent at the bottom. They're tarnished, they're old. They don't have any company stamp on them or anything. They say pewter, but they don't really say anything else. So I'm going to buy these to melt them and cast stuff like jewelry, maybe. Because pewter is mostly tin, so it's non-toxic if it's new enough, which I'm pretty sure this is. And tin is actually more valuable than copper, so most likely I got a pretty good deal on these, even if I was just going to scrap them for their metal, basically. And these two items are interesting because they are both radioactive, so they go into my radioactive collection. This one is radioactive simply because of the glaze used. The orange color was famous in Fiesta ware, made by Homer Laughlin, because it was so radioactive. This is detectable from 3 feet away with an old 1960s Geiger counter that I have. Quite hot stuff. Wouldn't want to eat off of it, but it's probably less harmful than the lead glazes that they also used back in the 60s and 50s and 40s. And this is similarly radioactive, being a watch that has all of the numbers and hands painted with radium-based paint, being that they take glow-in-the-dark paint, like they would use today, except back in the day they couldn't make it glow from being charged with sunlight, so they had to charge it constantly with magical rays of radiation. So they used this magical element called radium that was invented in 1890 and cost $10 million a gram in 1890 dollars, not in today's money. And they would mix a tiny bit in with the gallons of paint, and it would make it glow all night and all day for years and years and years. It doesn't glow much anymore, but that's because the glow paint wore out, not the radium. The radium will be here for another 2,000-3,000 years maybe before it's mostly gone. So that's a fun little find. It's a nice little Swiss-made watch and isn't too bad condition. Had it running earlier, which is unusual for an old wind-up. And then I also got some coins, which are mostly from random foreign coin boxes. There's a few coin dealers at the flea markets I go to. For the most part, they have nice coins in cases that you can buy if you're a serious collector. And then they have like a big random box that says, 25 cents a coin, or 5 cents a coin, or 2 for 25, or 10 for $1, stuff like that. So most of these are coins that I was hoping might turn out to be silver. Most of them are from the 1920s, specifically these 3. One is 10 cents from Cuba, I believe. One is another 10 somethings, 10 rappen from Switzerland. And one is 50 centavos from Portugal. And unfortunately, I looked up the dates, and none of them are silver, but they're still really old coins. So I'm just going to hang on to those for a few years until they're valuable. This is a 3 pence from England that was made just after they stopped using silver, so it's brass and quite thick and heavy. These are actually 3 pence before they stopped using silver. They're from 1913 and 1902. They both have, they have different kings on the back. One is King Edward VII, I believe, and then King George V. And they're sterling silver coins, so 92%, 92.5%. Those are a pretty good find. I paid a little over $1 a piece for those. This is another old coin that I really just bought because it's old. It's from 1926, from France. Nice little brass coin. This one is a English coin that's a 6 pence. That I was hoping was silver, because I forgot the date. It's a 1947, and I believe the silver change was the date the year before that. 46 was when they stopped using it, so that's bad luck, but that's just a Cooper nickel coin. And this is a 1939 German 5 Reichspfennig or something. I'm not sure how it's pronounced because I'm not really fluent in at German, the language. But it's interesting because 1939 Nazis were in full swing, and so it has the swastika on the back and the eagle emblem. So that's a neat piece of history, although a darker side of history. Still stuff that I collect. And then this whole stack are very old Canadian and English pennies. These are all pennies from Great Britain, dating 1907 through 1927. So they're not in great condition, they're not worth much, but they're pretty old, and I like that. And these are Canadian coins. I got lucky enough to find a 1910 Canadian sterling silver dime with King Edward, I believe, on the back. And I actually paid 5 cents for this. So I could go to Canada and spend this for 10 cents and still make a profit, which is amazing to me. People talk about buying below spot value. I just bought below face value. So that's a good deal. And then these are pennies. The newest, the newest one is 1911, and then 1904, and they have 2 different kings on them once again. And this one is 131 years old today. It's from 1881 and has Queen Victoria on the back. So that's a very old coin. So I'm going to adjust my camera and such and see if I can get some good macro with a hand lens that I have here. So I'll be right back and see if I can get you some better pictures with that. Alright, got my camera set up with a hand lens. Got some pretty good magnification there. Hopefully this works. Ugh, my fingernails look nasty. So I'll start with the, this is what the flash bulbs look like up close. See, it's just a little glass bulb with some metal fluff in it. 2 wires coming out the bottom. Well, this one actually doesn't have wires. Oh, this is one that was actually shot by a little metal pin going up into those holes. This is a similar one that actually has the wires. It's done electronically. Oddly enough, the blue dot is a sign to show that the bulb was not broken, because the bulbs were filled with oxygen to make them burn faster and therefore brighter. So if the bulb was broken and the oxygen escaped, the dot would turn pink and you'd know that they had gone bad. But this one's still blue after some 50 years. Pretty amazing. And then this is the watch. Weiler in Incaflex weatherproof. Got the little second hand that goes around. And you can tell the paint on the numbers looks pretty cruddy. It's probably been falling off, but it's pretty intact and incredibly radioactive. The back is stainless, base metal bezel, so it's getting a bit rusty there, but pretty nice watch still. Got it for about $4, so good deal. Now for the coins. Let's start with my big British pennies. Let me see, what are the dates on these? I'll do them from newest to oldest. The newest one I got was this 1927, 1 penny. Date's intact. A lot of the details are intact, which I'm surprised at for a junk box. And on here is King George V, Georgievus V, who's also the imp at the end means he was the Emperor of India, I believe, as most of the British royals were back then. So that's a nice coin. Next oldest is a 21, a little bit more worn condition. Date's still easily readable. Same king. Next is a 1914, which once again has the same king, about the same details. 1914, 98 years old. Next one is a 1907, which is over 100 years old now. It's, what, 109? Still has pretty amazing detail for something that's 109 years old. And this one has King Edward VII, I believe. You can see his ear there. Texture on the edge. Pretty amazing for a 109-year-old coin. Let's see, you live to be 109. And then here's another 1907. Maybe a little better. About the same. Nice set of coins. I paid 10 cents a piece for those because I got them from a heap. Let's see. Here's some of my hopeful silvers. This is a 6p from England. Pretty common coin. Got King George the VI, which is 6th. It's a 6p, 1947. It's just a little bit too late, so this is a Cooper nickel coin, not silver at all. I have an older one which is silver, which is how I knew about these really, but I guess it was a pretty far hope. And this is a 3p. The silver 3p, you see here, are much smaller than the brass 3p because obviously brass is less valuable. Made in 1939, the same year silver 3p were also made, but it's a big thick brass coin. It has another George with something on it. So about 1920 they switched from sterling silver, which is 92.5, to 50% silver. And then about 1947 they switched to 0% silver. So this is kind of a transition phase coin for them. Let's see, on the note of English coins, here's a 3p with Edward VII, same as some of the pennies. This is a sterling silver coin from 1902. It's 110 years old. I got it in this nice little case and everything. And then I have a slightly newer one, which is same design on the back, 3p. Except this one is Edward, or no, George V. So many Georges. I don't know how I keep track of British royalty. My other random coins, this is the Cuban one, I believe. 1920. Cuba. 1 centavo. This is the Swiss coin, Helvetica, Switzerland, 1925. 10 something, this doesn't say what, probably 10 Rappins or something. This is one that I really hoped was silver just because the look of the coin. It's from Portugal in 1947, which is a bit late, but still a cool looking coin. Amazing details on it there. This is one I got just because it was old. It's 1926 French one, which is 50 centavos, or 50 centimes. It's the French one. And then this is my Nazi Germany coin. It has the full swastika and eagle on it. It says Deutsches Reich, 1939. I think it's 5 Reichspfennig, something like that. Pretty good condition for something that is all the way from before World War II. I think that'll be worth something someday, even if I didn't pay much for it today. And the really neat ones I got were Canadian, oddly enough. This is a, I believe, 1910. You can just barely make out the date there, pretty worn. Canadian silver dime. And I have more modern silver dimes, but this was sterling silver, so 92.5 again. Probably minted in Great Britain. It's got King Edward VII again, with his little crown. So I actually bought this for 5 cents when it's a dime, so that's a pretty good deal. And then I got some big pennies, 1904, King Edward, and a, let me see, 1911, which is in pretty bad condition. Looks like it's been run over a few times. King George. And then the really special one is a 1881 with Queen Victoria. Famous Victorian era. Straight from Canada. So it's a 131-year-old coin. And that, I think, is awesome. If I save that for another 50 years, it'll be 200 years old someday. Maybe my children will see it turn 200. So yeah, that's my finds at flea markets. Thanks for watching. I know it was a long video. Hope it wasn't boring, etc., etc. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.